I just beat Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, and I want to give you guys a review on the game. And right now I'm actually trying to grind in the game and try to get the 53,000 kills in the game to 100% it. It's actually a lot easier in this game. I'm working a tutorial on it right now, so make sure to subscribe to the channel to see how it's done. So I'm kind of multitasking, so sorry if I'm a little distracted right now. I'll give you guys my thoughts on the game. Now, first game is absolute favorite of mine in the whole series. The second one's pretty good also. The third and fourth one I could never get into, so I never even beat those games. But the first one I beat so many times. I 100%ed it on the PlayStation 4. I got every single trophy on it, and right now I'm working on 100% on the PC version also, so I like the game a lot. Now when it comes to the Deluxe Remaster, I feel like they did a great job when it comes to remaking the game. This game pretty much feels like, imagine like those videos on like Skyrim, for example, where they like completely mod the game, where like, you know, they put a bunch of high resolution textures on the game and like make the game look amazing. Like they add like ray tracing to the game and everything, and like make the game look amazing. It's kind of like that, where like you start playing the game and it just feels like Skyrim again. So that's what this game feels like, where they added a fresh coat of paint to the game, where the game looks completely new, but at the same time when you play the game it feels just like the original. So I like that a lot about the game, because the original game had a lot of charm to it, and that charm is not lost in the remaster, which I like a lot, where the gameplay is still very janky in this game, but I don't mind it. That's what I like about these games. So I'm glad they kept it the same way, because when I was going into this game, I was kind of worried that they were going to change a lot of stuff of the game, make the game a lot easier and like to appeal to a modern audience, but they didn't do that. You know, they changed few stuff in the game, some stuff questionable, some stuff I understand. Like they removed the whole like erotica pictures in the game. I mean, I liked it. I think it's funny. I don't think it was ever that big of an issue. The only one that I can kind of understand is that if you do the Kent mission, where Kent's like, all right, get me an erotica shot, and then Frank is like, yeah, I'll do that, and then just takes like a perverted picture of a woman for Kent. That didn't really make sense, so I don't mind that being changed, but I think they should have kept the erotica pictures. I don't think it's a big deal. I think it was just a funny thing that was in the game, but whatever. But they changed some other stuff too, like for example they changed what was his name, the war veteran guy, what was his name? Here, let's look it up real quick. I'm gonna pull up the game. Yes, it was Cliff. So they changed Cliff, which I think is the most offensive change they made in the game, and let me tell you why. Because with the original, he would call you a communist because he was a Vietnam vet, and he had PTSD, and he was one of the best. I think that probably the best psycho in the whole game, because his story was compelling. You know, his story is that he saw his granddaughter get eaten by zombies, which triggered his PTSD, so he went crazy and started killing people at the mall. So he had a cool story, and then he thinks you're a communist, so he attacks you, but at the end he realizes what he has done, and then he kind of dies at the end, kind of like it's a very sad scene. So to remove that and like make it so that he calls you a mole instead of a communist, that to me makes no sense, especially because of the story of this game. The story of this game is that it's like an anti-capitalistic, you know, it's pretty much like parodying American consumerism, where like, you know, it's talking about how Americans eat so much meat that they, in order to, you know, get more meat, they had to like make zombies pretty much. And to like make it so that they remove a code about communism in that to me doesn't really make sense. Another change they made is that they made Larry Chang white for some reason. Like the Butcher character, they went from this like fat Asian to like a white guy, which I don't really understand, because it's not like it wasn't like it was like some like horrible stereotype or something. It was just a fat Asian dude. You know, it wasn't a big stereotype. Like there's no stereotypes about, you know, fat Asian butchers. So that was a weird change. But to be honest, Larry Chang is not a character I ever cared about or liked, really. I actually don't like that character that much, because I don't know, I always thought that was like a weird way for them to end the game, with a boss battle with him. Besides having like a boss battle with Carlos, they had Larry Chang in there, and I don't know, that didn't really make any sense to me. I mean, I guess it's kind of supposed to be like, you know, like the stories about like how Americans eat so much meat, so that maybe that's why they did. Maybe that's why they swapped the race on Larry Chang, because they were like, you know what, besides having an Asian dude, we want like a full American dude to like be the butcher at the end that kills Carlitos or whatever his name is, you know. So maybe that's why they did it. Maybe it wasn't because it was offensive or whatever, you know. Maybe that's why they did it. But overall, I like the remake a lot, and I think they made some good changes. Now, I was scared that they were gonna make the game too easy, and the game, here's the thing. With this game, if you're playing it for the first time, it's a hard game. But if you play the game before, you beat it a bunch of times, and you know where like all the good weapons are, you know, if you know what to do. You know, you get the mini chainsaw, you get the books that make the mini chainsaw indestructible, and I think they nerfed the mini chainsaw a little bit, but you know what to do in the game. You know, once you like learn how to play this game, it's honestly not a hard game. And the big change they made to the game is that they added auto saving to it. So every time you go through any like, you know, loading zone, anytime you walk through a door, or, you know, a cutscene plays, the game auto saves, and it auto saves like right before bosses too. So it does make the game a lot easier, but I think it's a welcome change, because if you're a newcomer, I think a lot of people stop playing the game because of that. A lot of times people would play the game, they would get ahead in the game, and then they would die to some bullshit, and then they would have to start, they would lose like half an hour or something, like over an hour of progress in the game. Now you don't have to worry about that, because the game is constantly saving. And for people that are the veterans of the series, like I never really die from a legit way in the original game, because I know how to play the game. I'm good at the game. So the only time I would die is like some bullshit happens, like some enemy comes out of nowhere and they like glitch you, or like a bunch of the military dudes come and like they just like destroy you. You know, it's just bullshit that kills you. So now if there is bullshit that kills you, then you can kind of get away from it. So that's a welcome change, that the autosave actually saved my ass a lot of times, where like I would die, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta read this, and I'm like, oh, there's a save right there, so I don't have to worry about it. So that was really cool about it. Now, one thing I don't really like about the game is gonna be the Frank's new model. His face looks weird, so I just don't like his face. Like every time like a cutscene happens and you just see his face, he just looks off. I don't like it. That's one big complaint I have about it. The voice actor does a decent job, but I like the original voice actor better. And that's with all the characters. All the characters got new voice acting, I think. And I like the original voices better. So, but I understand if there was some reason they couldn't get the original voice actors, but they do a good enough job, so I don't mind it that much. Especially with Otis, like they got the voice actor from the Walking Dead games for Lee on there, so, and he does an amazing job. So that was a huge so that was a really good change for the game. Now, one thing I would like to see is that if they just completely remastered it, in the sense of like if the game felt a little different, where with this game, like I played through the original Dead Rising like hundreds of times and I love the game, but when I played through this game, it just felt like I was playing the original just with fancy graphics. So for people that play the game a lot and they want like a different experience, it's not really there. The game just feels pretty much the same, it just looks different. But for people that like never play the game, this is a great way to get into the series and play it. This game is this is a great remaster. And for people that played the original and didn't like it, definitely give it another try. I guarantee the main reason why 99% of people play this game and didn't like it is because they played through the game, they got ahead, then they died, and then they realized they had to redo 30 minutes of gameplay, and they're like, screw that, I'm not doing that. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what your thoughts are on the remaster, if you liked it or not, and let me know if you played the original and how do you like this compared to the original, if there's stuff that you don't like about the game. So right now I'm working on a video on showing you guys how to get to 53,000 kills so you can get the trophy for the game, and I believe it unlocks the Mega Man Buster. So definitely check out that video. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.